John Tortorella has been named the one of the assistant coaches for the 2025 Four Nations Faceoff that the NHL is going to be doing. Mike Sullivan, I think this is the most interesting part.
This is the cool part, yeah.
Mike Sullivan is the head coach of Team USA, the Penguins head coach. He has served under Tortorella for 3 different teams as his assistant, and now Torts is going to be Sullivan's assistant. I find that very fun.
It's going to be interesting. I'm actually excited to talk to Tortorella about it. Because, I mean, him and Sullivan are still buds. They worked together for a long time, and he speaks very highly of Mike Sullivan. Like the two, when the Flyers play the Penguins, Sullivan and Torts are always chatting it up, catching up. They're buddies. They're still buddies. It will be very interesting to hear Tortorella's thoughts on having to work under the guy who worked under him for so long.
And now I just, on the Team USA, the USA Hockey website, they have like a roster section, but there's only 6 guys that have I guess you're on the fucking team.
They announced it at draft weekend.
Oh, is that what it was?
That was the thing. Like the main teams announced their I think it was the beginning of the second day of the draft. The main teams, the 4 teams, because there's only 4 nations, announced their stars. Because I remember the night before the draft, I was out with some people from Elite Prospects. We were just hanging out drinking, and we were trying to over beers. We were trying to figure out. We're trying to guess who the announced players for each country were going to be. This is the kind of stuff that happens in the draft.
For Team USA, it's Eichel, Matt Tkachuk, Adam Fox, Austin Matthews, Quinn Hughes, Charlie McAvoy. Those are the 6 guys who've been announced so far. I doubt there'll be any Flyers on Team USA. Who's the funniest guy that could make it for Torts? Is it Cutter? Cutter's not going to make it. He's a rookie.
I mean, unless he has a monster rookie year.
If that's the case, then it's not funny. It's devastating.
Yeah, that would be awful for the Flyers. Well, not awful, but it'd be awful for Flyers fans. Let me put it that way. Who would be the funniest guy to make Team USA?
It's hard to think of. I'm horrible with where people are from, nationalities.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would be a Flyer because a current Flyer would have to be somebody he coached in the past. Yeah, who maybe he clashed with, because I don't think there's anybody I guess it would be really funny if Kevin Hayes made it, but there's no way he's going to.
Yeah, that would be
he just got given away to the Penguins.
Winning.
Yeah. That would
Team
be
USA ain't winning if
that would be very interesing if he had to coach Kevin Hayes again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that is going to happen because Kevin Hayes is not good enough anymore, at least in terms of his last couple of years, to make a national team. Would it be funny if Joel Farabee showed up? Sure. But again, if Joel Farabee makes that team, that means he's having an awesome year. And in that case, I would assume Tortorella now loves him.
Yeah, yeah. But in all likelihood, at the tournament as a whole, might Torts be our only representative, the Flyers' only representative?
Well, so what are the 4 countries? It's the U.S., Canada,
Finland, Sweden.
Finland and Sweden. No, probably fucking Risto will go if he's healthy.
Oh, yeah. And God knows if he's healthy.
I mean, we'll see. But if he's healthy, I assume he'll represent Finland.
True. Okay, that makes sense. And maybe Ersson, I guess.
Maybe Ersson, he has a good year.
He has an outside chance.
Yeah, he has an outside chance.
Yeah, but USA and Canada... No way, right?
Maybe if Konechny has a monster first half. Because I don't think he's on the roster now. I do think he's in the mix. He's somebody who, when they're having discussions, his name is at least, it's on the dry erase board as a guy who we'll keep an eye on him. He's good. He's probably not good enough to be on this team, but he's a good player. And if he is on a super hot streak and is on pace for 50 goals, maybe he makes a team. Konechny, I think, is at least in the conversation, though I don't expect him to make the team.
What's your interest level in this thing?
It's hockey. I'll watch it.
That's how we all felt about the Adidas thing that they did, the World Cup a few years ago. And it was Jesus, what was that, 2016 now? It was a while ago. And then it ended up being real good.
The big thing, though, with that, I feel was Team North America.
Yes.
That's what got the people. That's what got the people who were on the fence about it. Yo, this rules. Because you got these kids flying around, just doing cool stuff and being super excited. If it wasn't for them, I don't know if that tournament would have succeeded to the degree it did.
And that overtime game that they won was one of the best hockey games I've ever watched. That was so good.
Yeah, it was fun.
And the Team North America jerseys were very cool.
Yeah, they ripped.
I feel going into this, I'm okay, whatever. One, I just think it's asinine Russia isn't involved. I know. Yeah. I know. I get it. But it's the third at worst biggest hockey nation? Alex Ovechkin's not going to be in this thing. That's what you're telling me.
Look. I
just find it crazy.
saying this without political things, but what I will say is that there is at least a case to be made that Russian hockey players should not be punished because their country and their crazy dictator is doing crappy things.
I don't think hockey fans should be punished
there's
because
a case
some asshole's being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. What does hockey have to do with this?
I understand why it's done. It's because it's trying to put pressure. It's for a bad thing to stop happening, and I get that. But I do think there is a case to be made.
Imagine Vladimir Putin going, well, fuck, we're not in the Four Nations. Pull out of Ukraine now.
It's a fair
We
point.
got to win this Four Nations face-off that only exists to sell jerseys.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that.
I mean,
the Olympics, all right, at least that's prestigious.
True.
Like, at least the Olympics are a real thing that didn't just get invented last summer.
It's a fair point.
Like, this is, if that's what the thought process behind this, and let us not forget, the greatest moment in like international hockey history happened while Russia was invading Afghanistan, and that was real bad, and that made them what makes sports great? Good guys versus bad guys. You fucking bad guys. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Five Nations face off.
I agree that there is a case to be made.
I know, and I get that. Like, we're making a joke of this, and it's a much bigger deal.
It is a big deal,
but like, I don't know. It's
but also
it's a hockey
again.
game.
We talked about this idea of like the smell test about the like come on. The point you made of it's not like not going to a Four Nations tournament is going to stop Vladimir Putin from continuing to make war on Ukraine. Like, come on.
The tournament whose semifinal is on President's Day that we just decided, like, it just got made up yesterday.
The argument is essentially that like they should be isolated in every way as long as they're doing a really bad thing, and I get that. But I do think that you can make a coherent argument that isn't unsympathetic to the situation overseas, that is like, does this really matter that much to hockey? Yeah, like, I don't know. It would be cool if Matvei Michkov got to play some international hockey. That's all.
We all silly like the mayor.